He's going to turn on the Jets down the sideline, and he's going to go all the way to the end zone.
Explosive play to start it. Thrown to Colby Sanchez. Touchdown.
He's still going. Eldridge in for the touchdown.
For the first time in school history,
Welcome to the 2025 Nusenda Credit Union State Football Championship Seating and Selection Show for classes 2A through 6A. On this show, we will release the brackets and matchups for the state football playoffs. I know the Berlin Eagles are out there watching. The Grants Pirates told me they're getting together. Be patient, you will hear your name called soon. But before we get to all the announcements, we always like to remind everyone how the seating and selection process works. The seating process is not the NMAA sitting in a room randomly deciding who should be the 1 seed, the 2 seed, etc., etc. It is not that, as we all know. What it is a process that is all data-driven. The following criteria is used to determine a team's seed. We look at finish in regular season district play, max preps rankings, overall record, member school input, that's the coach's input and their rankings, and any head-to-head matchups. These schools are compared to one another with each of those criteria points, and the seeding is determined like one big math problem. It's all based on the numbers and the data. In the event of a tie among those criteria points, head-to-head will be used to break the tie. If there's no head-to-head competition or the head-to-head competition is tied, then max prep strength of schedule will be used to break the tie. There is no input given by NMAA staff. I'm going to repeat that over and over every time. No input by NMAA staff. It's all data-driven based on those criteria points. Did you have a better record? Were you ranked higher? All of those things, not just one, all criteria points. There is no bias for or against any school or team. Let's get to the brackets. We will start in Class 2A. The number 1 seed goes to a team that lost their first game of the season, but they have bounced back nicely since then, the Texaco Wolverines. Texaco is the 2-time defending state champ. They've played in the final each of the last 3 seasons and 4 of the last 5 years. Remember, the top 4 teams receive a first-round bye, and here they are, Texaco, Legacy Academy, who came on strong at the end of the year, Eunice, and Hozo Academy. Eunice and Hozo were tied in criteria points, but Eunice won out on strength of schedule. But they both get a first-round bye. Eunice hasn't won it all since 2021, but the Cardinals have played in the final game 5 times since 2017.
Well, the expectation's all the same. There's only one team that ends happy, and that's the teams who win the state championship. So that's always the goal. But the process is what we really try to focus on, because if we can be better today than we were yesterday, then we're getting better and we're heading in the right direction. And I really want to produce high character men who are successful on the football field, but they use what they learned to be better husbands, better fathers, better employees, better sons, because they're going to be those things a lot longer than they're going to be high school football players.
Now let's take a look at the bracket. Navo Prep is the 8 and Jal the 9. Those 2 teams face off. Raton is a 5 and Tularosa the 12. That's a first-round matchup. Last year's state runner-up, Santa Rosa, is the 6 and will take on Tucumcari. Loving is the 7 and Estancia the 10. They will go head-to-head. Loving and Navo Prep were tied for that 7-8 spot, but Loving won out on strength of schedule. Laguna Acoma was on the outside looking in and didn't make the field because they lost a tiebreaker on strength of schedule with Jal, Estancia, Tucumcari, and Tularosa. Moving on to Class 3A, the number 1 seed goes to a team that hasn't lost in a couple seasons, the St. Michael's Horsemen. St. Michael's is the 2-time defending state champs. They played in each of the last 4 title games, and they come into the postseason undefeated. Let's take a look at the top 4 teams in this class. Dexter is the 2, Hope Christian is the 3, and Pojoaque Valley earned a 4 seed. Congratulations. St. Michael's and Dexter, that was last year's state final. Hope Christian knows that St. Michael's is the cream of the crop right now, and taking down a team like that is going to take a perfect performance.
Just like I've been trying to tell the kids with any game, like we got to play mistake-free football kind of situations. But St. Mike's has that tradition. They have that thing that like Cleveland and all the good teams, Bloomfield and all them. They just don't make mistakes and they play fast and they're bought into what the system kind of situation. So again, it's just mistake-free football, and you got to come out and meet the tenacity with the effort that they're going to bring. You got to match that early and often. And then, just like anything else, right? It's got to overcome the ups and downs through the game, So when things falter, you got to stay positive. You got to stay together and hope to make the next play kind of thing.
Now let's take a look at the bracket. Robertson is your 8 and Hatch Valley 9. New Mexico Military Institute is a 5 seed. Wingate the 12. They'll go head to head. Theroux is the 6. They get Hot Springs the 11. West Las Vegas is a 7 seed, and Ruidoso the 10. Those two teams will square off. Little explanation here. Theroux was actually up for a top 4 spot and a possible bye, but they lost a tiebreaker with Hope Christian and a tiebreaker with Pojoaque Valley and a tiebreaker with New Mexico Military Institute, so Nimi was your 5 and Theroux the 6. Ruidoso won a strength of schedule tiebreaker over Wingate, and Ruidoso was over Hot Springs because they were tied in criteria points, and Ruidoso beat them head-to-head. So it's Ruidoso the 10, Hot Springs the 11, and Wingate the 12. Moving on to Class 4A, the top honor this year goes to the same team that finished 2024 on top. Bloomfield High School, the Bobcats, enter the bracket as the number 1 seed. Bloomfield is the defending state champ. They come into the playoffs with only 1 loss on the record, a Week 2 defeat at the hands of Piedra Vista. They've won 2 of the last 3 state titles and played in the final 4 times since 2018. Here are the top 4 in Class 4A. Last year's state runner-up, St. Pius, is the 2 seed. Chaparral is the 3, and Taos is your 4. All 4 of them get a first round bye. Let's look at the bracket. Bernalillo is the 8 seed. Manzano's the 9. Albuquerque Academy is your 5 seed. They will take on Valencia the 12. Moriarty is the 6, and Portales the 11. Then it's Grants the 7, and Silver the 10. Those 2 teams will meet up. Now, we had a 4-way tie in District 2 between Manzano, Portales, Valencia, and Silver. When you compared all 4 in criteria points, Manzano came out on top, so the Monarchs are the 9. Then, with the remaining 3 teams, Silver won on criteria points, even though Portales and Valencia beat them during the season. Remember, they are compared on all criteria points. So Silver's the 10, then it was Portales the 11, and Valencia the 12. Grants, the 7 seed, is having a really good year, improving each and every season.
After last season, we decided to tweak the offense a little bit because first 2 years that I was at the helm, we were averaging about 16, 15 points a game, and we knew that wasn't going to cut the mustard. So we revamped the offense completely in the offseason, and happy to report that now we're averaging about 42 points a game. So significant change. And our defense has been really, I guess, lack of a better word, they've been really good for us this year. They kept us in games that we probably shouldn't have been in, and they've helped us win games that we probably should have struggled in.
Let's talk 5A, and it should be no surprise who is the top dog in this class. The Bulldogs from Artesia High School. Artesia has won more state championships than any other program in New Mexico. They come into the playoffs this year with only 1 loss. Centennial is the only school to beat Artesia so far. The Bulldogs have played in the final each of the last 4 seasons. Now to the top 4 who receive a bye. Defending state champ Roswell is the 2, Los Alamos the 3, and Lovington the 4. Congratulations. Los Alamos is undefeated, and that was their plan all year.
The first thing, we started setting goals, and Jordan Herrera, our running back, the first thing he said is like, we're undefeated next year, coach. That'll take care of everything else. That'll take care of the playoff seeding. That'll take care of the district championship. But I think this crew's, going undefeated, and that's what we need to work on. And they just kind of set that. And this group is, they're even, man, they're a little I think they were a little tougher this year. Man, we had a bunch of young guys. A bunch of these guys were young and started for us last year. So, I mean, they came a long ways and, have just done a great job. But they've kind of put it, 1 week at a time and focused on just what needed to be done that week. Hadn't put anything, hadn't looked down the road. It's just been 1 week at a time. But man, these dudes they're tough, focused. Man, they've done a great job. And it's been fun. I mean, they're a fun group to coach.
Now to the 5A bracket. Highland is the 8 and Mayfield the 9. Goddard earned a 5 seed and will take on Deming. Gadsden is your 6 and Capital is the 11. Berlin is the 7 seed and will face Valley the 10. Now, looking at this bracket, just to let you know, Roswell beat out Los Alamos on strength of schedule, which is why it's 2-3 there. Gadsden won out on strength of schedule over Berlin, and Mayfield was over Valley in strength of schedule when compared. Now, Highland, Capital, and Valley were tied in district, but when you match them up on those criteria points, Highland earned the 8, and then Valley and Capital ended up at 10 and 11. The last spot came down to Miyamura and Deming won out on strength of schedule to earn the final spot in the bracket. Last but not least, Class 6A. No surprise here either. The top spot goes to another top dog, Las Cruces Bulldogs. Las Cruces is undefeated. They haven't reached the title game since 2016. They last won it all in 2013, but this could be the year for undefeated Las Cruces.
Our guys understood. I think we've been in the semifinals or state championship 7 out of the last 10 years. And this group wanted more, and they wanted more starting in January. And so that's what they've been working towards. Now, we tell them all the time, if you go through the process and you stack enough great days, it gives you the opportunity to do something special. Never guarantees anything special, but it gives you the opportunity to do something special, right? And so that's kind of where we're at. I think our guys are fully bought into the process of what we have to do every day and every week. And then every Friday night or Saturday afternoon, you put the chips out there. We're going to try to go do the best that we can do within our process, and then we're going to let it fall how it falls. And so far, it's been going in our favor.
Let's take a look at the top 4 teams. It's Las Cruces, Cleveland, Hobbs, and Centennial. They all earned a first-round bye. Congratulations to all of them. 3 of those 4 are from the same district. Las Cruces handed Cleveland their only loss of the year back in mid-September, 38-34. Now to the final bracket of the show. Los Lunas is in as an 8 seed. They will take on Piedra Vista the 9. La Cueva is the 5 and will take on rival El Dorado the 12. Rio Rancho is in as a 6. They get Carlsbad the 11 in the opening round. Volcano Vista is your 7 seed, and they will meet up with Cibola, the team they just faced, to end the regular season. That's just the way it shakes out sometimes. The rematch is in the first round of the postseason, and the winner gets Cleveland. There you have it. The postseason matchups are set. Don't forget, you can watch the state championship games this fall on the NFHS network, so get a subscription and log on so you can watch the championship matchups. That's going to do it for the 2025 Nusenda Credit Union State Football Championships Seating and Selection Show for classes 2A through 6A. Good luck to all the teams involved, and remember to compete with class.